Rad fam, how y'all doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome back to another spooky video. Today we're gonna go explore another creepy AskReddit thread because that's my jam. I can't get enough of creepy stories that people share on the internet. I just like it. I like having nightmares. That's the theme of this channel. So I hope you do too. Which if you do like that though, and you're not yet part of the Rad fam, now's the time to click the bell. Just saying. The thread that I want to explore today poses the question: individuals of Reddit who have experienced crazy sightings such as aliens, cryptids, humanoids, UFOs, black silhouettes, dogmen, mothmen, all that paranormal-ish. What stories can you share? So this is just people sharing the craziest stories of things that they've experienced in their life, and y'all, that sounds spooky. So let's just get right to it. And I have a little co-host today. Charles is back, but unfortunately I don't think you guys can see it in the black void that is my room, but he is there and he's being cute. So just know that. I moved into a new place around 15 and kept hearing scratching noises and rustling outside. Alright, don't dig that vibe right away. I always assumed it was some sort of animal. One year we had to put up some defense on the windows. Don't really remember why, and my father said the grass and bushes around my window were like how a carpet is after you step on it a bunch of times. And he said that the tracks belonged to either a human or something with human feet. This was years after the first time I heard the rustling and scratching outside my window. To know that someone was outside my window still terrifies me to this day. I got a question for you. They said it could be a human or something with human feet. What's something with human feet? And what's scarier, a person or something that's unexplainable with human feet? Is there an animal with human feet that I don't know about? I don't think so. Both of them are terrifying. Both of them would make me never feel safe in my home, and both of them would make me never want to go outside at night ever. And I'd also invest in blackout curtains if they hadn't already. Okay, I just saw a glimpse of this story, and this is nightmare fuel right here, y'all. Driving on the highway in Ontario, Canada, late at night. We pulled over off the highway so one of us could take a pee break. As my friend was urinating, I saw a tall figure in the trees walking around. Oh, that gives me goosebumps. Hell no. I love camping. I love being out in wilderness, but it's stories like this that make me never want to do that again at night. It started getting closer to my friend who was just off the highway in the bush. I rolled down the window and told my friend, "There's something in the trees coming at you. Get back in the car now." My friend sees it and decides to whistle at it. Alright, he's the first one to die in a horror movie. Sure enough, the thing whistles back. Okay, alright. Unexpected. It sounded like it was whistling and humming at the same time. My friend yelled in terror and ran back to the car. We were out of there fast down the highway. I'm sorry. That's when they're scared? Not seeing the thing, but when it whistles back? What? Could you sleep that night? Could you ever drive down the highway at night ever again and feel fine? Because I think I would always remember this experience for the rest of my life. Oh, and I love driving at night, y'all. No. That's horrible. And this next story is a little similar to that story, which makes the idea of that event even scarier because that means someone else shares a similar story to you, and that makes it more real and would make it harder for you to brush off as an overactive imagination or a random animal sighting, Oh no. But let's read it anyways. I grew up in Northern Ontario as well and spent a lot of time in the bush growing up. I remember walking with friends near one of the camps. I would have been around 10 at this point, and one of our friends saw a figure on a ledge. I turned my head up to see something large and black or brown disappearing from view. No. It's what you don't see that's 10 times scarier than what you do see. We were then pelted with chunks of shale for about 10 minutes as we cowered behind some boulders. Some of the chunks hurled down were pretty huge, so it would make you question if it's a person, because if it's really huge and heavy, how did they do that for 10 solid minutes? Another time I was in the bush with my uncle. He'd grown up outdoors and knew every animal and their behaviors, so somebody who is very knowledgeable about the area. The man could track them. We were walking along a creek looking for rainbow trout and heard a series of screams off in the distance. Oh no. I'm just saying, if I hear screams, obviously I would like to think oh, if it's a person, I'd go and help, but realistically, after hearing all these stories, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd be that brave. I think I'd instinctually run in the opposite direction and try to call for help for someone else that's braver or stupider. That's awful. If someone's in help, you need to help them. I was terrified and he was perplexed. They didn't sound human, nor did they sound like any of the native animals of the region. Okay, all right, see? My selfishness. of not wanting to help the person out of fear would potentially save my life. So there's that. Thank you, horror movies and scary stories. It went on for a few minutes and then suddenly disappeared. Several minutes later, they started again. Except now they were about 100 feet away. No, I would use all my track experience. I'd try to recall my experiences in high school and run as fast as humanly possible away. Oh no. Needless to say, we made it back to the truck fast. I think a lot of people don't understand just how massive swaths in Canada are. In my opinion, a yet undiscovered animal could be living there with ease, especially if it has the capacity to recognize and avoid humans. Well, it didn't sound like the thing wanted to avoid y'all. It sounded like it was getting closer to you, potentially to make you a snack. Canada is on my list of top 5 places I really want to visit. All the pictures I see are so breathtaking and gorgeous and don't even look real. But now I'm starting to question. I'm starting to question if maybe it shouldn't be in the top 5. Maybe I should lower it down a little bit because I really wanted to go camping out in Canadian wilderness. I'm gonna rethink that now. Oh, and one of the comments replying to those stories was talking about the Skinwalker urban legend, and that's some scary stuff, y'all. Oh no, that's some scary stuff. That made those stories even scarier. If you don't know what a Skinwalker is, Google it. And prepare for the nightmares. When I went to stay with my uncle for the weekend, we took his dog for a walk 3 times a day. Once in the morning, once at lunch, and once around 10 or 11 at night. So he lives in a rural area of England, like lots of farms, tight country lanes, and at night it gets very dark. If you're someone that lives in the city and you've never experienced how dark being out in the country at night can be, one, it's beautiful because you get to see all the stars, so that's cool. But oh my gosh, you cannot see like your hand in front of your face unless it's like a full moon night. And that's very scary. So to go walk a dog that late at night in a place like this, I wouldn't advise it. So we came along to a small fence. He lifts the dog over and I just hop over as I'm pretty tall. And we start walking along and end up in an orchard. As it gets darker, I turn my phone light on and look around. I feel as if, I hate reading the sentence. I feel as if something is watching me, but could feel it was quite close. Oh, that literally gives me so many goosebumps. Every hair in my body is standing up. If I had a better camera, y'all could see that. That is like the source of my nightmares, is the idea of something watching me that I can't see. I look to the left and down the aisles of trees, and I see something very tall and humanoid walk past. Too tall to be a human, y'all, but okay, all right. As it was following me and my uncle, I turned to him and said, "Did you just see that?" And I pointed to the trees and he replied with, "Kinda, yeah." So, trying to make excuses like no one wants to admit that there's a tall monster following you. All right. We carry on walking. You carry on walking? I'm running. I'm participating in like a sprint. What? He sees the trees sway as I do. The humanoid being was watching us. It must have been at least 8 feet tall. It was staring back at us, and as the dog started to bark in its direction, the being walked off, and the dog eventually stopped. All right, well, at least it's like afraid of dogs, and that's comforting because I got a big dog that y'all just heard. So that would make me feel a little better, some comfort in that. Whenever we explore a creepy AskReddit thread or just find like internet stories in general, I love to go into the stories thinking, okay, this person says they experienced this, so I'm gonna have an open mind and like just believe you, because like regardless of what the explanation really is, it's still a very scary story. It's very scary to think like you could be in that situation as them, I like to think of rational explanations, your mind playing tricks on you, but when someone else is there and sees the same thing and it's too tall to be a human and it just stares at you, I really don't know how to explain that. And I don't know what my brain would try to even come up with. So yeah, scary. All right, well, these stories sufficiently terrified me. Did they terrify you? I hope so that I'm not the only one scared and slightly sweaty. And if you have your own spooky experience that you just do not know what the heck you saw, leave it down in the comments below because I would love to read it. And I know other Rad Fam members would also love to read it. Until next time, keep it the radness, and I hope to see you again real soon. Deuces.